What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the preview for the game between Real Sociedad and Manchester United in the Europa League knockout stages. It's all or nothing now for the mighty Reds. The chicken, the eggs, everything else crammed into the basket, Sam. As always, there's always an opportunity to try and win the tournament. Is the way we absolutely scrape our way to the finals somehow?
I mean, if you looked at the two competitions and there's sort of teams in it, you'd probably say the Europa League is the easier path.
Absolutely.
In terms of the opposition, like, because you've still got some teams who are probably batter us who are in the FA Cup. You think about Brighton, they've definitely got our number. Is City still in it?
Yeah, City's still in it. Yeah, they beat Plymouth, didn't they?
Yeah, City is still in it, so that'd be a problem as well. Palace is still in it, aren't they? I think.
Yeah. We would have played them.
Right, there you go then. So if we did get through Fulham, Palace are definitely knocking us out.
So Fulham we've got now. Palace.
So yeah, I think it's a difficult competition to win that. It's a shame we went out because I would have liked to have tried to defend it or got to a final. That would have been nice. But yeah, now it's all focused on Europa League. And you look at the opposition, Sociedad, not in great form. Been battered recently by Barca and Madrid. And was it Levante, I think, who beat him as well. So, but they have won the last two games in the Europa League. So the European form seems to be pretty decent. And as we know, our Spanish opposition is never, the record's not good. It's not good at all. So yeah, it's a bit worrying to be honest.
I'm going to dive into the stats and stuff a little bit later on in regards to Spanish opposition and Real Sociedad in particular. But I think the reason why this is so difficult travelling there first and foremost is because they're just going to keep holding the ball, aren't they? They've got quality, technical Spanish players like Zubimendi and Sergio Gomez and these kind of guys. And, you know, given the nature that we've had two games, one with 10 men against Ipswich and one which equaled to around 130 minutes of football in the FA Cup, this is going to be a drag, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, and there's a couple of question marks over certain players. As you'll see in that team lineup, we've put a couple of people in that I wouldn't personally put in, but needs must at this point. Cheeto is not available due to registration issues, so that's a bit of a
shame,
bummer.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because I would have liked to see him start in this game.
Yeah,
I would like to have seen it, but yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, so there's a lot of issue, and obviously we've got Ahmad missing, key player, Alessandro missing, key player. Onana had a good game against Fulham, but we know in Europe he's got mistakes in him.
Yeah. And
Bayindir's out, Heaton's out, so we can't even sort of run Bayindir in there if we wanted to. So yeah, it's a tricky sort of selection. Well, it's not a tricky selection process because there's only probably one team he can pick, but in terms of having options, we don't have many, which is frustrating. But we do have Dorgu back, so that's something.
I was just about to ask you about that. I was going to say no Cheeto available, but Dorgu is in the team, which I completely forgot about. I thought he was out for this game. I don't know why, but in my head, I just presumed that he wouldn't be starting. So to have him back over on that left-hand side and potentially Alejandro Garnacho, at least you've got some direct threat there, innit?
Yeah, as long as Garnacho doesn't ignore him like he normally does.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, frustrating bit. But yeah, Dallo on the left. If we had Dallo on the left, it'd just be like, well, that side's dead, isn't it? Like, there's nothing happening over there. And then Mazraoui, as good of a player as he isn't an attacking wing back. Like, he gets in good positions. He's competent on the ball and stuff, but that's not his intention. He's a defender first, so it's limited. So when you've got Dorgu, who is actively a wing back, will do overlaps, will cross the ball into the box, will make forward passes and runs, it changes that dimension, especially on that left-hand side. And Garnacho had his leg heavily strapped against Fulham when he came on. And Amrin mentioned he had a knock. So hopefully he's recovered enough.
Got to be careful
this
with
game.
That. Aren't you?
Yeah, you can't run him into the ground and stuff, so that's going to be an issue. And then it's like, then your sort of midfield goes into a bit of chaos then, because it's like, right, if Garnacho's out, do you move Bruno up and then you risk Ugarte and Casemiro in the midfield, which is just asking for trouble? Or do you put Eriksen to play 2 games in 3 days, which I don't think he's capable of doing? So yeah, it throws into all sorts of question marks if Garnacho can't play in that 10.
Well, you just threw a name in there, which is kind of give me question marks a little bit, because I'm thinking Casemiro against the Spanish opposition that he knows really, really well. Obviously, they've had a couple of players change, etc. But the whole kind of philosophy of the club. He knows Real Sociedad. He's played them a number of times. Obviously got huge European experience. Maybe it won't be that much of a surprise. I'm talking if...
Play him in the 10, would you?
Who?
Would you play Casemiro in the 10?
Oh, no, not in the 10. No, I'm talking if Garnacho is out,
yeah,
then maybe Bruno pushes forward and he does go with that Ugarte and Casemiro partnership. I know obviously Casemiro has his flaws, but I'm just thinking, like, if needs must, I'd rather see that than Eriksen. Just for me personally, I don't know how you feel.
I think there's risks, isn't there? Either way you go, like Eriksen can't play 2 games in a row. I think when he does play a game, he's 60, 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a risk there. Like his legs will go if he plays. But maybe if you play him in the 10, he doesn't have to get back as much. He can sort of like thing. Xerxes ran himself into the fucking ground
that's
for 120 minutes, and he's probably going to play the other 10. So there's a lot of players who are fucking knackered here, like really, really bad. So it's going to be tricky. Like what Amorim does, like does he stick with this system in this game? Because it puts a lot on people, and a lot of people played a lot of minutes in the last few days. So yeah, it's a big question marks, man.
I think we're going to see, and this is a question I was going to ask everyone else watching as well, if you're watching this live or later on, what kind of approach are we going to expect here? Is it going to be we're going to travel to Sociedad and we kind of set up shop a little bit, maybe a bit of pragmatism involved, and then kind of hit them on the counter if you want? Because Sociedad do set up with that high line, so there is a chance for Rasmus Højlund, for example, to exploit it. And Rasmus Højlund record, although in the Premier League is bottom 4%, quite literally, he's in the top 1% in Europe in terms of his record. 12 games, 10 goals, and 1 assist. So he can do something in there with 82 minutes per involvement in that as well. So, yeah, I don't know. A chance for Højlund, maybe Sam, finally, after not... I mean, last time he scored was in Europe, wasn't it? Victoria Pleasing, I think it might have been, so... Been a hot minute.
He seems to get goals in Europe, like we saw in the Champions League campaign. He was top scorer for a while, wasn't he, in the Champions League campaign?
Yeah, for Onana, threw it in the fucking bin. Just very quickly on that as well, by the way. Onana video dropped yesterday for members only. Go check that out. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you.
He seems to thrive in Europe, like when it happens. I don't know, because the pace is a little different. It's less physical when you play sort of European teams, especially like Spanish teams. They're not very physical, but they are very technical. So maybe he gets a bit more breathing room. He's not got a massive centre-back on his back the entire time, so he feels like he's got a bit more space. So maybe that's it. So if he can score, that'll do great for his confidence and obviously will help us. I don't really care who scores at this point. Let's just get a win and get out. Like that's all I care about at this point. Let's make sure we win the tie and let's get out. Like whoever scores, I'll take it.
Lumen in the chat saying big up David Pearson, the law of averages, surely this is the game that Rasmus Højlund finally scores. I actually feel a European tie will be more his cup of tea. Andy saying don't see how we bring home any sort of positive result back to OT. I just hope that it's not like 3-0. Can you imagine Old Trafford when Onana's taking 20 minutes to pass? Always positive as always, Andy. Appreciate you, brother. Right, let's talk about some stats then. So it surprised me a little bit, right? Because I know overall against Spanish opposition, it's quite bad. But United and Real Sociedad have faced each other 6 times in European competitions. United have won 3 matches, drawn 2, and lost 1, with an aggregate score of 6-1 in favour of United. Now, obviously, we beat them in the group stage. I think it was 1-0 in 2013. In the repeat fixture, it was 0-0. And then if we go to 2021 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we beat Sociedad 4-0, and that was at a neutral venue. I don't know if that was like a COVID thing or something, potentially.
Yeah, I think so.
And then in the repeat fixture in that, it was 0-0 again. They beat us 1-0 in 2022, the year later. And then we beat them 1-0 in the repeat fixture. So there's not been that many goals either in general between Sociedad and United, which could make the score prediction interesting. But our overall record against Spanish teams in Europe, so this is in the last 15 years, Sam, from 2010 to 2025. Total matches 30. We've won 8, drawn 12, and lost 10. So a bit of a mixed bag, but it feels worse, doesn't it, because of the nature of the results. If you think about Atletico knocking us out with Rangnick, you think about Ten Hag against Sevilla in the quarterfinals. Ollie lost to Villarreal. Jose was beaten against Sevilla, I think it was, in the group stages, which was like a big shock. So we've had more impactful defeats from the Spanish teams, haven't we?
There was that Atletico game that you love with the referee as well.
Under Rangnick. Yeah,
that was... Jesus Christ.
Corrupt fucking ref, piece of shit.
Yeah, that was a horrific performance from that referee. I was at the game when Sociedad came to Old Trafford and we lost 1-0 with a really dodgy decision. That was a terrible game to watch. Sociedad, we don't seem to have fun games against them. I know they got the COVID one 4-0.
Was that the Martinez game where the handball?
Yeah.
And it was like, and it bounced off his knee and hit his hand.
Yeah, it's just bollocks. Yeah, complete.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
Because we obviously in the stadium, you don't have the screen, you don't know.
Yeah,
it's the handball, and I was just like, I couldn't say. So I had to get home and watch it. I was just like, that is like,
oh my god,
bullshit. But I think was that the same year we had the Middlesbrough one as well. Is that the same year?
Yeah,
that was there was a couple of them, but yeah, they don't seem to be that entertaining. I know we've got the COVID one 4-0, but COVID football was so weird, wasn't it? It was bizarre. Like there was just some results where you're like, what the fuck?
Our players actually turned up because there wasn't a crowd.
Yeah. Didn't Villa beat Liverpool 7-2 or something?
Yeah, there was some mad games there.
Yeah, there's some mad shit going on. So I wouldn't take that into context. But I wouldn't expect an exciting game, put it that way. They have got some decent technical players, but because of our lack of scoring, they are struggling in La Liga. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect a goal fest, put it that way.
Yeah, so on Sociedad, 9th in La Liga, don't concede a lot, but also don't score a lot either. And they recently lost to Barcelona 4-0 with Elizondo committing a last-minute foul, resulting in a red card. So they had a man sent off, very similar to us. In their last 5 games, 1-2, lost 3, and in the Europa League, they beat Michelin 7-3 on aggregate in the knockout round to reach this stage. So a very mixed bag of a team. However, given the form, do you still think they'll be confident against this United team with them travelling?
Yeah, because I think the European form's not bad, isn't it? Like, did they finish above us in the league, or did they finish?
No, we finished. I think they had a knockout game. I'm pretty sure.
Did they go to playoffs?
Yeah, and they beat Michelin 7-3 on aggregate. So we finished what? We don't know what, fourth.
Second.
Was it second?
Let's have a look. Second, didn't we? Lazio finished top, Third we finished. Lazio, Athletic Club, and then it was United. Yeah.
And then Real Sociedad finished 13th, so they was in the playoffs, and they beat Michelin in the playoffs. So yeah.
So I mean, United away, we've been better away.
We have
traditionally. So maybe that's in the thoughts, but Spanish teams as a whole, like we spoke on, the record's not great. So I'm sure they'll feel somewhat confident. They've got a very good player in Martin Zubimendi who will pull the strings. He is a woody. I think our defense has been pretty resolute and pretty good. Besides individual mistakes, I think that have happened. But I think in terms of the way we play and where we set up, I think our defense is pretty resolute, and they don't score that many anyway. So I think we'll be all right. But if we do make a mistake, or Nana makes a mistake, or something like that, that might be the thing that costs us. But yeah, I expect Zubimendi sort of dominating that midfield and just sort of cause all sorts of chaos for us.
I think it's interesting you mentioned Zubimendi because that's one of the players I wanted to talk about. Obviously, he's someone who's attracting interest in the Premier League, the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal. I think I'm sure Ornstein put something about them agreeing a deal or in principle for Zubimendi.
Liverpool. He turned Liverpool down, did he? Because he wanted to stay.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal apparently in January have pre-agreed a deal or something.
Obviously City as well, because with the Rodri thing was linked with him heavily. Yeah. But I was sat there thinking, don't United need a player like Zubimendi? Imagine him alongside Ugarte. I think that'd be the perfect balance, wouldn't it?
That'd be excellent. What is his release clause or something?
50 million euros or 50 million pounds. It might be. Yeah.
Not even that bad then. Yeah.
I don't know if that's still active though, Sam, or not. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's check.
But do you want to play for Arsenal, who, I mock Arsenal all the time because they're bottle jobs, but do you want to play for Arsenal in the Champions League, competing for titles?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to United, who are finishing 15th, probably not in Europe, and are in the worst state ever?
Yeah.
It's an easy choice, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You have to look at it from a neutral's perspective, kind of. We're United fans, obviously, but a player now, Rooney said it the other day, didn't he? In the FA Cup tie, he was like, if I'm a player now, why would you go to United? It's a graveyard for players and managers, so you can understand it from that perspective. But I think how we play against this team is going to be interesting. Obviously, we don't watch Sociedad week in, week out, but I had a look at a couple of scout reports just to see where the deficiencies are and where United can get at. And we talk about mistakes on the ball, not finishing chances, which we know all about, and the pressing and midfield coordination can be off at times. So there's a couple of places we can hit them there. And I spoke about the high line before as well, Sam. There's chances there, isn't it? But the thing is, there's always a caveat with that. It's the fact that we don't take our chances, and players like Garnacho and Rasmus seem to snatch at him. So this is why, I mean, I'm trying not to do my score prediction, but you can see the way this game is going, can't you? Frustration at both ends.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be chances for us, but as we've seen, Garnacho will put it over, hit side netting, not pass to a teammate, and we'll all scream at him. Højlund will probably try and fight a centre-back, lose the ball, and then Dorgu will put balls into the box where there's nobody to be seen because nobody's making the run. And then we're probably going to have to rely on a Bruno free kick again or something like that to get us out of it. Like, that's the way it's going to go. So, yeah, to anybody, if any of these, like people like Shireyas and stuff, if it's late in your time zone, probably give it a miss. You're probably not going to miss. You're probably not going to miss much. The highlights will be about 2 minutes long, I imagine. So, yeah, that's the way it's going to go.
Well, having said that then, who are the ones to watch in this game for you? One player from Manchester United, Sam, and one player from Real Sociedad. Excuse me.
Sociedad one's easy. He's Zubamendi. He's a quality player. Very technical, fantastic passing range. Can pop up with a goal here and there. Is the sort of stereotype playmaker. He pulls all his things. He will make them tick. So if you could shut him down, you've got a better chance of just slice into him. Yeah. They've obviously lost Marino, didn't they? That was their sort of dynamic they had going. So should have Marino and Zubamendi. So maybe that's why, like you said, they're a bit unsettled. So they don't have that with them anymore. So, but maybe you can get at him. But yeah, if you can shut him down, I think you're halfway there. United, it has to be Dorgu, doesn't it? He's going to provide the outlet. We don't have Ahmad. Højlund struggling. There's no Cheeto to bring on, so Dorgu's going to be your outlet. He looked really good before he got sent off. I thought, and he was his
confidence, right?
Yeah, I think he'd be fine. And then Everton, he looked really good as well, I thought, in the 2-2 draw. So I think he can provide that outlet, provide a bit of creativity, create those opportunities, and just hope somebody puts the ball in the back of net. Yeah. Like that was it, that Xerxes tap in where Højlund gets in, it bounces, and then Xerxes chucks it in the back. Something like that. Just get it in the back of net, get a goal, get a win, something. I think that's the way to get it, because I just don't think we've got enough quality to play him off the park. Like, we just haven't got it.
Yeah, I agree. I had both. Zubamendi, obviously the type of guy to control the game, exploit space, and then likewise Dorgu on that side. Garnacho's another one as well. If he does start, that directness. I think the left hand side is going to be a big threat for us. And if we're going to get anything from the game, it'll come from that area. So there, a couple of players to watch there. 5 quick fire questions for you. And again, this is for the chat as well, so make sure you guys get involved and smash the like on the video. Your Spanish five-a-side team, all time.
Oh, Jesus. Casillas, goal.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be a thing. I put David Villa. What? No. David Villa is my striker. I think Iniesta's got to go in midfield.
Absolutely.
I might put Xavi with him as well.
Ramos?
Xavi and Iniesta. And then, probably Ramos at the back.
Sergio Ramos. So Casillas, Ramos, Xavi, Iniesta, David Villa.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Mix of generations there. A couple of sort of level of generations.
I mean, they've got plenty of depth to go. David Silva, Juan Mata, you can go on for days, honestly.
Yeah.
So, one player you would take from La Liga right now, and not an obvious one, so not an Mbappe or Vinicius, for example. Who's one player that you really appreciate in that league that you think maybe could do a job for United? Or...
God, there's loads. Like Zubamendi's one. I think Zubamendi would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Valverde. I love Valverde.
Unbelievable player.
What a player.
Probably the most versatile player in Europe.
He's so underrated. Like, he doesn't get the flowers. He doesn't get the credit. Like, everybody goes Vinicius, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham.
He's incredible.
Nobody mentions Valverde. Like, I think Valverde is like top notch. Yamal's obviously a fantastic player. I really like what's his name? The young Pedri. Really like him.
Yeah.
Pedri's fantastic. Gavi, fantastic.
Right.
That whole La Masia from Barca, just
Insane.
pick one. They're all fantastic. Like, they're all really good players. So yeah.
The centre back they've got coming through there as well, I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Paul Cubarase. He's unbelievable. They've got like 3 young, really talented players there in the minute, Barca. So it's exciting for them. But they've always produced young players, haven't they?
I don't know why they spend shit tons of money on players, Barca. Like, they've got what looks like some of the best academy players to ever come through. Why spend money? Just bring them through. Like, it's mad.
Bizarre one. Favourites to win the competition, in your opinion? Like, if you was a betting man and he was like, right, you have to put £100 on this team, who would you put it on?
Athletic Club, Bilbao.
Bilbao. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd put it on those. I think they've got a bit of consistency. They've got Nico Williams, who's an X factor in that team, that causes problems. So yeah, I'd put it on them. I think they'd be winners because you don't have the drop-ins. If you had the Champions League drop-ins, I'd probably pick some, but you don't have those drop-ins. So you're looking at Roma. I don't think so. Lazio. When was the last time they won a trophy?
Yeah. Frankfurt, maybe with the pedigree. Maybe in the final.
Maybe Frankfurt. Maybe Frankfurt.
Rangers,
but they have just lost their best player in Marmoush, haven't they? So
yeah, also a good point. Yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it? I think for some reason for me, Tottenham just keep popping in my head. I keep thinking Tottenham they're going to be in the final. I can see it.
If Ange wins the Europa League, they have to build him a trophy, don't they?
Oh yeah,
build him a statue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because he's the only manager to win a trophy in the last but he's going to finish probably in the bottom half of the table.
But that's the narrative that we was discussing, wasn't it? It was like if United and Spurs reach the final, which I thought it's achievable, right? I think we're on different sides.
Yeah, we're on opposite sides, yeah.
Yeah, so if they reach the final, that's a massive game for both teams. That Amarin's first trophy, and
I wouldn't
make it happen. Let's make it happen.
I wouldn't bet on us to win it either.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Spurs. I wouldn't personally. Yeah, not at all. In this game, will we score at all, Sam?
Yes.
Okay, and your prediction for man of the match?
Dorgu.
Patrick Dorgu, the new signing, the young kid who's coming in.
I hate that we're putting all of it on him already because he's the only good player in our team. Yeah. And I hate that we're putting a 20-year-old kid and going, yeah, mate, you're it. You're going to have to get us through this game because everybody else is shit.
In fairness, there is Bruno, but I feel like we say Bruno a lot. It's like Bruno or Ahmad, and because Bruno has every goal, everything we do at the minute is he's a part of it. He's doing it. So, yeah.
If we go 1-0 down, the goal will come from some sort of Bruno thing. Bruno will create something.
Set piece or something.
Absolutely. He'll do something.
To imagine if he touched wood right now. Imagine if he picked up an injury. Right, we would be absolutely fucked.
We're fucked.
Absolutely fucked.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
Having said that, let's go into the starting 11. So, Sam, talk us through the team. I mean, we've both got the exact same team. So, obviously, Lindelof being in there. Maguire came off, didn't he, injured in the last game?
Yeah, I've heard some stuff of he's hamstring or he's tweaked his hamstring. That's why he came off. You could throw Aiden Heaven in there, I suppose, and then put De Ligt in the centre. Yeah. Maybe you could do that, but I don't know if he's going to put that on an 18-year-old kid who's only played 20 minutes for us. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to do that to him. So I think Lindelof is the option. Dorgu back on the left because he's back in the team. Dalot obviously has to play on the right. I've not put Mazraoui in just because I think he needs a rest. He's played so much fucking football.
Mate, and that's he needed a rest after the Spurs game in the cup.
And he played like 120 minutes for us against Thingy, didn't he? So I'm just like, right, let's rest him for this game. That's why I put Lindelof in. Igati Bruno has to be in a midfield setup, and then the 10s, because we haven't got anybody else, Garnacho, Xerxes. But I thought if we can get Garnacho and Dorgu working together, that will be your threat there. That will hopefully sort of cause something, and then hopefully Højlund turns like he does in Europe and scores. Because Cheeto's not there, so we can't play him. So yeah, most of the positions you have to play because we haven't got anybody else. Yeah. That's where we're at.
Let's see what happens. Right, that's everything discussed. Score prediction, Score prediction, everyone else in the chat as well, please get it in. Like I said, whether you're watching this live or watching it later on, Andy's saying, you tell me what there is to be positive about. I agree with you. I'm just saying I expect it to be negative. Yeah, you go first on this, Sam, because I don't want to...
1-1. That's as positive as I can be.
I can see that. You know what I've gone with?
Go on.
0-0.
Oh, Jesus.
0-0 is what I've gone with. Because I think both teams in front of goal are inconsistent and shit. And I think United will go there because they are leggy. I think it will be quite a pragmatic performance. I think it'll be quite reserved. And it could be absolutely way off here and they'd be an all-out attack. But given what I've seen over the past couple of games, I think they'll want to go there, keep it tight, maybe get a draw, take it back to Old Trafford. Just what I can see.
I think if you can get a draw and go back to Old Trafford, I think that's a decent result considering the state we're in right now and the form that we've got. I think that's decent. Yeah. If you can get a win, fantastic. But I think a draw is minimum. That's the minimum to come away with.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let us know your predicted 11s, score predictions, and just thoughts in general on the game in the comments section. Please do leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel and check us out on socials in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. This has been the preview for the game against Real Sociedad away in the Europa League knockout stages, should I say. We'll see you guys in the next one.